going on, Jerome? So I know what a lot of people are looking for. Like they're waiting for the cackles, the ish talking, and all of the gloating, right? Exactly what you got when the Niners beat the Packers after Jordan Love threw the interception, right? But I'm not going to do that. Or I'm going to try my best not to do that. Now, I understand that Vikings and the Lions has sort of quickly ratcheted up the temperature of the discourse, right? And Vikings and Lions fans and getting after it, and the Lions playing a certain brand of football. I'm not even going to talk about Kirby Joseph and what happened to him in the Niners game, right? So I'm going to try and be as objective as possible. Mainly because I know some good Lions fans, and this is brutal. This is absolutely ridiculous. So, 28-3 is seen as the biggest meltdown in NFL history, the Falcons losing to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. But this one, 24-7, 27 unanswered. I mean, that one's right up there, man. And it's also this would be the way that the Vikings would lose the Super Bowl. Like that's why I'm obviously you want your team to go to the Super Bowl, but I'm a little bit apprehensive because you know that the Vikings would lose in the most ball busting, soul crushing fashion possible. But this one's rough, and yeah, I know that a lot of Vikings fans have interacted with some sort of jabroni Lions fans as of late, but I feel like a lot of those are just the fair weather bandwagon fans. They're just thumping their chests. Like the hardcore, loyal OG Lions fans, like they know, like they know that their team was capable of something like this, man. But yeah, so gonna do our best not to gloat. And for the loyal Lions fans who've been through a lot, I feel you. I feel you on this one, man. Also, it was so cool seeing Ford Field packed. Like the lower bowl was completely packed, and they were there watching screens and cheering on their team. You love that passion. I love it, man. But this one is tough, man. This one is tough. And Eminem at the game. Eminem, the good Lions fan. Yeah, but it ultimately came down to Dan Campbell. So people respect Dan Campbell because he is a gambler at heart. He will be aggressive. He will give his team a chance to win on the field. But just kick a freaking field goal, man. Right? And you kind of knew, that Dan Campbell taking chances during the season, especially that Cowboys game, that you felt like the season was going to come down to one of Dan Campbell's gambles paying off or biting him in the ass. And, passing up two pretty short field goals in a spot where you end up losing by 3 points, that's tough. That's tough, man. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like it would have been too scripted if it was Chiefs and Taylor Swift versus Detroit and Eminem. And Bob Seger and Kid Rock and whatnot, but I mean, I feel like this is palatable. Like this is tolerable. Who do I want to win? It doesn't matter. Red team's going to win. But back to this game. So the Lions dominated the first half, and it looked like the San Francisco 49ers were just completely mailing this one in. Both one seed teams were going to fall in embarrassing fashion today after the Ravens just sort of put a stamp and mailed in the season. But I mean, this one was just overall. The Lions played about as perfect of a first half as you could do. They dominated, best offensive line in football. The running game was humming, and I mean, Jamison Williams, 42 yards and a tutty on that reverse, getting things going. Montgomery was ripping the cover off the ball at 6.2 yards per carry. Gibbs was getting his as well, and Goff, he wasn't doing anything spectacular, but he was being efficient. And also, towards the end of the first half, where it felt like the backbreaker was coming when it was 21-7 and the Lions had the ball under 2 minutes, and they converted 3rd and 13. They converted 3rd and 18. It's just like doesn't look like it's going to be the Niners' day. And I have all the respect in the world for Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's an absolute dog. I think that he's one of the best third down receivers in the game. Laporta is out there, playing like a madman, and it was just so insane what happened in the second half, because it looked like in the first half the Niners defense just completely quit. They couldn't get a pass rush with Nick frickin' Bosa getting $250 million, or Javon Hargrave $84 million, or Chase Young. They couldn't get a pass rush. They couldn't stop the run, and it looked like it was going to be a thumping and it'd be a coronation for Motown. But then, the Niners and Kyle Shanahan, you got to respect it. Brock Purdy came out slinging it, even though Brock looked like garbage in the first half, and McCaffrey was running angry and hangry. Like you saw, like that last touchdown. Even though Elijah Mitchell punched it in, like Christian McCaffrey looked like Mike Allstott out there, man. And it was great. And Debo played himself a great game. Brandon Ayuk, I think, maybe the most underrated receiver in the game. I love that Ayuk always catches with his hands. You notice that? Like some receivers, get lazy and turn into a body catcher, but Ayuk always catches away from his body. That's what I loved about him at Arizona State. And the whole thing about it is the Niners are dangerous, and they didn't show it against Green Bay. Now, all 4 quarters, it looked like Green Bay outplayed them before Jordan Love gave it away, but they played 6 quarters of garbage football to start the playoffs, but then they finally woke up. It's like they took Ambien at the end of the season, and they're just very sluggish, but they got things going. Brock Purdy was dropping dimes. Debo was dragging things along. Kyle Juszczyk, who's not as good as C.J. Ham, although his wife makes awesome jackets, made some great catches. George Kittle had a couple grabs in the second half after doing nothing in the first. But, people are going to talk about how the Lions lost this game. They're not going to talk enough about how the 49ers came back and won this game. And I think it's more the latter than the former. Although, could you say that the Lions offense puckered up a little bit? And that's the wrong thing to do. Like playing not to lose versus playing to win, which is very odd with Dan Campbell. But, outside of the 2 going for it on 4th downs, it just seemed like the offense did turtle a little bit. Josh Reynolds had 2 horrific drops. That ball bounced off of the Lions DB's face mask, and Ayuk brought it in. I think it was Vildor for the Lions. Gibbs had that fumble that set up the Niners touchdown. So, it was just a cacophony of horrible things happening to the Lions in the second half, and the Niners capitalized. All right, so you got to respect that. 17 points, the largest halftime deficit comeback in championship game history, and now we got the Niners and the Niners and the Chiefs redux, do it all over again. And it'll be 2 weeks of is Brock Purdy elite or is he a game manager talk, as well as all the Taylor Swift stuff. But I fully understand, and I commiserate with Lions fans right now, or at least the good ones, not the jabroni ones, right? But I believe in Brad Holmes. He's done an amazing job stocking that roster. The Lions are deep and very good in both of the trenches. Frankly, I think they have the best offensive line in football. And Dan Campbell, is he perfect? No. Is he a players forward coach? Yes. Is it going to be tough to replace Ben Johnson and maybe Aaron Glenn if he leaves? Yes, absolutely, especially Ben Johnson. So Lions fans, I know you're disheartened right now, but this doesn't seem like it's the end. I trust Brad Holmes. I trust Campbell to a degree. So the Lions are going to be tough for a while, for a minute, man. So there you go. But that's it. Wow. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.